Tell me if you can relate to this scenario. You're recruiting for a position, you've hit a dead end. The candidates you've been reaching out to simply aren't interested for some reason or another. And so after thinking about this and why it may be, it finally hits you. Many of the candidates you're reaching out to are a great fit for the role, but it's because it's exactly what they're currently doing. Same job title, same industry. So it's essentially a lateral move for them, which, it's not always that enticing for the candidate unless it comes with a hefty bump in compensation or you're moving them from middle of nowhere, Iowa, over to a cool location for the city.
Initiating becoming a hiring machine sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's Sam Keenly, and welcome to Becoming a Hiring Machine. This is the show dedicated to fixing recruitment by going beyond saying what needs to change and instead teaches you how to make that change. Today, we have an amazing Tactical Tuesday ahead of us, but before we get into that, I just want to tell you a little bit about the show. Essentially, we have shows within the show. Some days we have interviews with industry thought leaders and others who are shaking up the space, and they're going to teach you how to do something that they do that's helped them be successful. Other days we cover trending topics, items that recruiters are talking about or will be very soon and what those mean for them. Every Tuesday like today, drop on by for a Tactical Tuesday episode where we go deep on how to do something that you are immediately going to be able to implement in your day-to-day. Once in a while, we open it up for Q&A. Listeners can drop in questions that they'd like to hear us take on, so send those over to us at podcast@loxo.co. And occasionally you'll hear a mic drop episode from Matt where he comes by and shares something that he's been thinking about within the recruitment space and wants to share with you. All right, for today, tell me if you can relate to this scenario. You're recruiting for a position, you've hit a dead end. The candidates you've been reaching out to simply aren't interested for some reason or another. And so after thinking about this and why it may be, it finally hits you. Like, many of the candidates you're reaching out to are a great fit for the role, but it's because it's exactly what they're currently doing. Same job title, same industry. So it's essentially a lateral move for them, which, it's not always that enticing for the candidate unless it comes with a hefty bump in compensation or you're moving them from, middle of nowhere, Iowa, over to a cool location for the city. So savvy recruiters are starting to think beyond this and understand what are the career paths that lead to the role that you're trying to place, or what are some good moves to find those candidates. And so when you do that, that's where you're able to offer an opportunity to candidates who are looking to grow. And it often includes things like an increased responsibility, pay, compensation, things that they are looking for. So for today's Tactical Tuesday, Vivien is joining us, and she's going to teach us some creative ways to find your next ideal candidates. So on that note, let's jump into it with Vivien.
Sounds good. So like you mentioned, sometimes an easy way to start a search is always by just typing in the exact job title that you're looking for and looking for people that have that exact role. And like you said, Sam, that doesn't always work. It's not always like a good move for them. And so there are a couple of ways that you can kind of use ChatGPT to help you troubleshoot that a little bit. So you can start by kind of just saying, hey, ChatGPT, what are the job titles that best represent the following job responsibilities and qualifications? And then you just copy and paste those relevant sections from the job description. You don't necessarily want to have like for this particular job, and then it outlines it. You don't want to give ChatGPT the specific job title because sometimes hiring managers, they actually give you a different set of responsibilities than like the actual job title. And sometimes they do this because a different job title will open up compensation or like all of those kinds of things. So this is where you kind of want to help the hiring managers get really creative with finding the right budget for that particular role. And so you have to let them be creative. So sometimes the job title that they give you does not necessarily match the industry, the job responsibilities, as well as the qualifications that somebody needs. So you don't want to give that, not even bias, but you don't want to give that particular insight to ChatGPT just yet. So just keep it short and simple, include the job responsibilities, as well as the qualifications like education, specific certificates and things like that. So in the example that we have right here, I actually used machine learning engineer. Since we're talking all things AI is machine learning. So this is exactly what we're doing. All I did is I just copied and pasted a couple of job responsibilities pertaining to a machine learning engineer. Again, you can also provide it a little bit more context, like this is the industry that that they're in, this is the kind of product that they would be working with, whatever would be really helpful for this. And this is where ChatGPT actually suggests the first one, machine learning engineer. But then it also kind of suggests, hey, maybe a machine learning platform engineer. And it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of what this particular engineer would do. We also have machine learning infrastructure engineer, because you don't always know what the job title is at a particular company that would carry these particular responsibilities. I mean, we've seen some creative job titles come out lately. And so we also have deep learning engineer, data scientist, machine learning specialization. So this gives you about 8 positions that you can literally just copy and paste into Indeed, Zip, LinkedIn Recruiter, and that way you will get the same kind of people already. And so this is a great starting point with a search. Now, if you kind of run into this where it's like, it's a lateral move, doesn't quite make sense, you can then ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some job titles that would be promoted into one of these roles that you have mentioned above? And then it says, well, if we consider the role of a machine learning engineer, which is exactly what this is, and I didn't tell ChatGPT at all, as a more senior or specialized position, then individuals would move right into this role from a range of slightly more junior and less specialized positions. Some potential feeder roles include, then it goes into data analyst, software engineer or developer, junior machine learning engineer, data engineer, research assistant, specifically with machine learning and things like that, statistical programmer, database administrator, associate data scientist, all of these things. So those are all really good ones that you can kind of plug in and see what are the search results. And then if, as a not even last ditch effort, but another creative way of kind of going about this is you can then ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some of the job titles that actually work with a machine learning engineer? Because what you can do is you can then reach out to these people and say, hey, I'm not reaching out to you about a position. I'm actually trying to see, do you know of anyone? Have you worked with anyone that was a really great machine learning engineer that you would recommend, that you know might be interested in a new opportunity? And kind of tease it a little bit to make it sound really good so that they're like, you know what, I actually know this really great person. Let me connect you to. And that way you might find somebody as a referral. And yeah, we got business analyst, DevOps engineer. Yeah. And that's about it. And that's how you can get ChatGPT to help you get a little bit more creative with sourcing.
I love it. Well, we promised creativity. You delivered. So yeah, a handful of different great opportunities where, as we say, don't always take it so literally where I want this job title, so I have to find that job title. What are the paths to get there? Who are the people that work alongside them? Like you say, how do you think about the growth mindset and the individuals that you would want coming into your organization? So yeah, three great ways of helping you find that ideal candidate moving forward, and quick and snappy. So hopefully this is helpful for some people who may be stuck, feel like they're at that dead end with the role, and they can start to put this in place. So Vivien, thank you, as always, for joining us for this lovely conversation. I swear I learn something new every time we talk, and I absolutely love it. So hopefully other people do as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to our next episode next week. So everyone, that is the show. Until next time.